Hello. Yeah. So,
Hello.
hello. It's like a big empty canvas out there, isn't it, Matt? So, okay. So, hello and welcome to the Bitcoin review. Bitcoin dot review. Fuck. Let's start again. Too
Don't start
much.
again. We're good. We're
Okay,
good.
fine. All right. Hello and welcome to the Bitcoin dot review because that's the domain. Get it? So I started scratching my own itch with this. It's a best efforts sort of place to talk about Bitcoin projects and software updates.
And we came
And
so
so,
pissed off
yeah,
that we stopped covering software updates and rabbit hole recap.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of how I start everything in my life. Is like there is a market, normally me and my wants, and somebody's not um, covering or meeting that need. So then I have to go and do it myself.
Well, good luck. It's a pain in the ass following all the software
Jesus, it
updates.
is.
In
I went through
in
the
the
list,
best way
man.
possible. I mean, it's good. It's good that there's a lot of software updates.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot, and the rabbit hole um, recap does not cover proper software updates anymore, and and you guys also cover a bunch of other topics, so you couldn't go through the whole boring list, and I wanted to go through the whole boring list and sort of mention
Let's fucking
other
go. I'm happy to
noteworthy
go
stuff.
through the whole boring list with you. You're
Thank
really
you.
selling it to the listeners who are
Oh yeah, no, I
considering
mean,
whether or not they should turn it off now or if they should continue.
I think they should unlike and unsubscribe right now. Tap that button.
Just turn
And
it off. Turn it off right now, guys. It's going to be a long, boring list.
yes. So okay, so just a couple things. So Matt was kind enough to join me on the first episode where I steal his audience. It was very kind of him. And the idea here is I will I hope to have different guests. Probably many will repeat as long as I don't bore them to death. To help me go through this list. I am not the type of person who enjoys talking to myself on things, so I like the conversation. I think you'll add more value to it, and hopefully you help me see other projects and other updates I missed. And the format will be software releases, and then we'll talk about a few different things like Taproot adoption, some initiatives. I want to go touch through a few topics on the Bitcoin Optech newsletter. I will cover some Coinkite updates, and some of our other websites, and whatever other things we want to talk about at the end. So hopefully you have about an hour or so of stuff to bore yourself to death.
Let's fucking go. Sounds
All
exciting.
right. Yeah. So not to fully kill the audience from the beginning, we're gonna skip Bitcoin Core because that one has a wee bit of updates. So we'll start with HWI 2.1.1. Let me get here the release, and it was surprisingly a small release. It just adds Ledger Nano as support. They changed
Exciting.
the yeah they changed the detection of Taproot change outputs for Trezor, and they fixed the signing failure for Ledger Bitcoin app 2.x. Well, on the plus side, there is quite a few pull requests that are good there.
I wonder what that
Uh,
means if they just weren't checking change for Taproot addresses on Trezor.
I don't follow the Trezor part um, on HWI, to be honest. Uh, I think. Oh, you know what? I think if I remember right, I think Trezor had some checks that they did it, and then it broke HWI, and then I think they removed it, and now they probably fixed it and added again. Could be wrong. Somebody, please let me know on the. Oh yeah, you can go to bitcoin.review. That's the domain. And then on the top right, there is a button called submit story or something like that. If you click there, you can send your hate mail directly to me, which will be very welcome. Okay, so Yeah, so there is also a pull request there for Tap Signer. We've written the code for Andrew Chow, who
What
maintains
is this
HWI.
bitcoin.review website?
That's gonna be the name of the pod and the name of the website for the pod.
But then
Matt,
what are
do you
these?
even know which pods you go on?
I'm supportive of this initiative because I'm just gonna take your show notes and I'm just gonna read them on Rabbit Hole Recap for our software update section. So I don't have to.
That's
So I don't
that's
have to
pretty
do all the.
brilliant.
So I'm here to support that initiative. It makes it easier for me to track software updates. But
Yeah,
this site
I
isn't
support
just
that
software
message.
updates. I see the white paper. I see something about BIP85 here. So is this just supposed to be a news feed?
Yeah, so originally bitcoin.review was going to be a place for me to put articles on that we write.
Okay,
Like we wrote the BIP85 sort of like article there explaining some stuff about BIP85.
right.
But that initiative sort of like fell off the cracks. We didn't have time to do it. So being lazy and not deleting the two original entries there, I just added one more entry, which is this podcast. And
Gotcha.
I need to fix a few things there, but essentially we're gonna start putting in the pods there. And once I get the links fixed, you're gonna get the show notes by clicking on it. Uh, and yeah, so that's the home of the thing, and you can actually subscribe.
Awesome.
There is an XML there for RSS feeds. Yay!
Not enough
Uh,
people use RSS feeds. I'm an RSS maxi.
yeah, some people still do. I do, and we support that. All right. Next, let's toot our own horns.
On bitcointv.com, you can subscribe via RSS feed. So whenever a channel posts something, it comes into your
Well, I'm
RSS
just
feeder.
waiting for the way to automatically update, to submit a playlist to that awesome website.
I mean, dude, figure it out yourself. It's possible.
All right, next update, Matt. Okay, COLDCARD Mk4 version 504. That's us. So we improved the USB protocol. We added more encryption to it, especially for the HSM mode. We increased the size of the HSM mode, how it handles the messaging back and forth. So the people who are using CK Bunker will enjoy these updates. We now have reg test support for testnet coins as well. So if you're a developer, you're going to appreciate that. We did a major rework for all the tests, and again, reg tests for Bitcoin Core, and also the Linux support got improved. So we did hear the feedback from Linux devs using ColdCard, and they wanted to do that better. So that is better now. Some of the NFC stuff got improved, and FullyNoded now has a beta of their FullyNoded for iOS that supports CodeCard NFC, and it works. I think it's the first hardware wallet ever to do NFC with an iPhone. Yay!
That's awesome.
It is pretty cool. And it's still gonna be sort of like audio UI and all that stuff. I don't want to get people sort of like super hyped up, but you know, just imagine that with 6 months of customer use and feedback, and then you have something awesome. Um, what else? We fixed
Like
the
a year and a
domain.
half of feedback, but
Yeah, no, you could move fast. The thing is, like, app devs are sort of like a little, sort of like more focused on some flashy stuff on Lightning and other things, but
Zeus should
uh,
have NFC soon, right?
that's right. Zeus is working on it.
That'll be a big
Hexa
one.
Wallet is working on it. I think there's a couple PRs.
What about
Uh,
BlueWallet?
yeah, there is a PR there. I don't know. It hasn't moved much, but it's essentially ready. Well, I mean, ready for sort of beta dev kind of thing, but it's there. Hopefully soon you'll make it, and then we'll have it on all of them, and I think it'll be very cool, especially because I think was it Square, which is blocks with Spyro, will
Yeah,
launch.
once they release with NFC, that should
That's
push
right.
people.
So they're gonna do NFC, And I did have a chat with Stick and with Charles at Bitcoin Miami, and both of them are actually
So
pretty interested in
the head of
NFC as well.
Treasure and the head of Ledger.
That's right. So they're all excited about NFC as well. So not impossible. We end up seeing, the two major competitors we have also adding NFC. I think will be fantastic for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if Ledger adds it, that should really push the needle because Ledger's got to be the most sold, right? By far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
we know they
those.
have at least 1 million customers because that's all the people that got leaked.
We can count
Nah.
how many emails they have.
Yeah.
Right from the source. Amazing. All right. So the other stuff is it's small. Mark 4 version 03 was just more of that. Oh, and there was Taproot, pay to Taproot support added. I think that's important to mention. It's just that the version 503 and 504 are kind of the same release. They just got split for reasons. So there were a bunch of like little things. I recommend if you're a COLDCARD user, go check it out. Now Mark 3, we didn't forget about you. We also added pay to Taproot on 415 in May. And a few sort of like a few little bug fixes. There is more Mark 4 features being downported to Mark 3, and the goal is to sort of eventually maybe make a release that most of the features that can be backported will work. So just wanted to put that out there.
Awesome. And are you still selling the Mk3?
Yes, we still are. We're still gonna do it for a while. We're also using the Mark IIIs because they're slightly lower cost, and we've already recouped the R&D on it to help meetups, especially in developing world and poor countries, to disseminate hardware wallet use, signing devices use. We figured they can't really afford to buy units to demo and stuff, so we're sort of using the Mark III as a vehicle to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Props for that.
It helps. Since everybody is now Bitcoin price poor, we're gonna send the hardware. All right.
Yeah, we're all having fun staying poor over here.
That's right. Okay, so BTC Pay Server version 1.5. I am not a BTC Pay server user, but it is a project that is widely installed. And the two main things of this new release are the new dashboard. It looks jazzy. They do a very good job at showing all the statistics of your store, recent transactions, recent invoices. I do have a payment processor for Coinkite on the credit card side, and it's starting to look like that. This is very nice. And there is a dark mode as well. Very nice.
I mean, they've had dark mode for a while, I think.
Okay. And then they have this payout processor. I think they can batch transactions. And it also improves the how it handles partial payments on pool transactions. So when they're using pool for Lightning, they can handle that better. I'm probably
How does the
butchering
pool
it.
payments work on BTC Pay? Are
I
you
am
aware?
not sure. Nope, I don't use it. I am a based layer kind of guy, so I don't use a lot of Lightning.
I mean, at Coinkite, you use the in-house solution that you guys made, right?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. It's just BTC Pay Server came after we already had invested, like years building our own infrastructure.
And
And
that's
our
not open
stores,
source, right?
no, it's like a monstrosity. It's a true monstrosity. It's like shipping, sales, all the stuff is in there. And it's like very us way of building it. I don't think many people would like to take that on. Yeah. So if BTC Pay existed way back then, maybe you would have gone with it. It's also .NET, which is not my favorite flavor of
Yeah, I feel
stack,
that.
but it is very good. And I mean, in C# and .NET is a real language. It's not like this is JavaScript based. So props to them. This looks awesome. There's a lot to this release. You can enable and disable users. Lots of UI improvements, and yeah, I highly recommend people checking this project out. Okay, now BlueWallet. BlueWallet. So version 6.2.18. Yeah, making a point at not going to the GitHub release because it's just endless amount of commits. I want just
You're not going
summaries.
to just do the Marty, just read the release notes
No,
verbatim.
because like there is not like the problem is unless you are a project contributor or somebody who truly cares about the commits of a specific project, you want the summary, right, of the release. So like
Like, why
notable,
does this matter to me?
yeah, like the notable features, right? So I'm gonna put this call out to devs out there. Do me a favor, on your on your Apple release notes on the App Store or Android or whatever, or on your release notes at the top, put noteworthy or summary of the releases and put something there.
Yeah, every
So
release note should have a TLDR at the top.
yeah, I think that's why we try to do that on Twitter, and a few others do that on Twitter, because it does help. Anyway, so for BlueWallet 6.2.18, it says fix reorder wallet screen crash. So we'll go back one more. In January, they released 6.2.17, and now they show the selected coin summary on coin control screen. That's nice. Navigate to selected wallet. Rewarder wallet is clunky to use. That's a fix. And they deleted AOPP, which is great. What was
About
the?
time.
Yeah, I know it's bullshit. It's helping the bad people. I don't care how people spin it.
Yeah, there's no reason for it.
That's right. All right, COLDCORE.
I'm surprised it took like that they waited this long to remove it and then still removed it.
Well, they removed it in January 31st. So yeah, no, that's actually quite late, isn't it?
Oh, okay. So we're talking about them getting rid of AOPP January 31st. Got it.
Yeah. I went back one more update because
I guess because this is the first one, so you got to like catch up, and then
well,
from that
no,
point
it
on,
was
it'll be
just too
recent
thin.
releases.
The the one in February was just too thin, so I went down one more.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is a project I really like. A lot of people don't know about it. It's called COLDCORE. It's by James O'Byrne, and it's essentially a command line Bitcoin wallet. Very featureful, very pretty for people who like the command line, and it supports hardware wallets, which is great. He built it for him to use with COLDCARD, hence COLDCORE. But I think it works with other hardware wallets if I remember right. Anyways, so the 0.31 release.
It just uses HWI, doesn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
So like it presumably could work with other wallets, other signing devices.
Well, yeah, well, you'd still have to connect it, right? It's not like plug and play per se. So, anyways, I don't know. Somebody should check it out and let us know. So, in April 17th, where is I lost it? Oh, release here. Bam. There you go. So on the release notes here. So Wayland clipboard support. That's just never mind. Allow specification for fee rate in prepare send. Well, that's nice. So you can set your fee rate. and some RPC fixes. So this is a nerdy wallet with a nerdy update. It's a great wallet. Moving on to
Nerdy wallet with the nerdy update. Nailed it.
right.
But shout out to O'Byrne. It's a pretty cool project.
Why don't you know? Maybe the format should include a little nugget about the maintainers or the main maintainers of the project.
I think, well, when relevant, I mean, ideally, most of these projects have many contributors, right? But COLDCORE is
true.
literally an O'Byrne project, right? Like
So,
he just carries it on his back. It's like Sparrow, which is just like a Craig Raw project.
That's right. So James is both a Bitcoin Core contributor. I believe he writes economic stuff, and he's also a great DJ. So that's a little trivia there for people that did not know much about James O'Byrne. So going to FullyNoded. The 0.3.3 version fixes some bugs where LND node via my node would fail. Well, that's a nice bug to fix. And it prevented batching from working. Okay, so there you go. And why not go back a couple more versions here because it's so thin. So in April, they had bug fixes.
FullyNoded's another project like that. It's a Fontaine project.
That's right.
I got to meet Fontaine in Miami. Great dude.
Yeah, and I believe
I already liked him on the internet, but it's good to meet him in person.
That's right. I also met him in person the first time in Miami, I think. Or was it in Riga? Can't remember.
It's got to be Miami because I was in Riga with you. I did meet him in Riga.
True. Yeah.
But I met him in Miami. I got him on stage too, which is great.
Oh, nice.
It was so funny. Like people get excited about like these different billionaires and shit. And like getting them on stage. I'm like, yeah, I got Fontaine and Craig Raw. Super excited. Like, I mean, who is that?
You know, the real Bitcoin where it happens, right? It's what is real Bitcoin? Bitcoin is available to everyone, billionaires and plebes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're frustrated with how people use Bitcoin or who's using Bitcoin right now, it's only going to get worse from here.
No, I mean, you really don't understand Bitcoin.
Yeah.
All right. So 0.3.0. If you run a joint market server, you can now connect directly if you're using Core. That's nice. So joint market support on FullyNoded is improving. I guess that's my take from the last few updates. That's nice. And as I mentioned earlier, they also have now the test flight version, beta version of NFC. So thanks, Fontaine, for doing a lot of awesome work. Next is Nunchuck, which is Hugo. Hugo is doing a fantastic job with this wallet. A lot of people don't know about it. It's essentially multi-user, multi-sig. It's very focused on proper security. His app is fully native, so they're coding everything native in all the platforms, which is a bit of a feat. And they have essentially a server that doesn't really know much about you to just coordinate messaging between the clients. So that means you can sort of propose a transaction to your quorum of users in that multi-sig, and they'll get a message saying, please sign this. I am me and I really want to send it to this address, and then the people can choose to sign it or not. If you're familiar with the node project called Copay, it's similar but much better implemented. And these guys are really plowing through here. So now they do proper full end-to-end encryption for the messaging. You don't need, and this was it's so funny. These are all my requests to Hugo. Primary key accounts. Now you don't need an email to sign up. That was also me. Large PSPT support. Yeah, that's great. Now they support, they improved the seed signer work. They support Signet, which is nice. Signet is essentially testnet, but sort of like a new version of it. And then going back one more update, they added Taproot support in single sig only. I don't believe there is a multi-sig spec yet for Taproot use. So MooSig is still sort of like there's no implementation out there. And they're doing a bunch of other stuff that I don't know if it's public yet. So I'll keep on moving. Thanks, Hugo. This is a good list of updates.
First of all, shout out to Hugo and the rest of the team over there. Their tool is extremely slick and definitely very well sorely needed. Even amongst I'm a key holder in multiple multi-sigs that are collaborative multi-sigs with other people for different organizations and whatnot. And even among the diehard Bitcoiners, it is massive pain point, transferring PSBTs, partially signed Bitcoin transactions between each other to like sign multi-sig transactions. It's a complete pain in the ass. And a lot of lost time and mental energy, and it really simplifies it. My biggest issue right now is I'm pretty sure, everything's run through these mobile apps, and I'm pretty sure the mobile apps are still closed source. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, but it's pretty hopeless on that sense. On iOS, you don't have a choice, right? For you to
Right.
install the app, it's still going to come from the store. So you're trusting. And in all honesty, the majority of the people using Android, aside from the hardcore folks, like they are also
They're
loading
not
from the
going to
store.
verify it and sideload it,
No,
but they could. And the point remains that it's
no.
not even
Here's
source
worse.
viewable,
But
right?
Matt, most of the Android wallets don't deterministically build, so that is kind of pointless too.
I mean, but we still would like to see at least it being source viewable. I think there's like
Yeah,
some
but
standards here.
if it's not, see, the issue is when you have these wallets that the stack is huge, right? Millions of lines of code because of all the libraries they need to make it run on the phones. Uh, and then it's not deterministically built. You know, good luck trying to audit that code. It's nice to have, but realistically speaking, it's pretty brutal. So I think more than solid loading at this point would be nice to see deterministically built phone wallets, in my view.
Okay, including Nunchuck.
Yeah, all of them. I mean, yeah, like.
I'm just saying, like that's to me that's like one of the biggest holdups in terms
but
of
not
using it
all
with
wallets are
substantial
equal
amount of
too,
money.
right? No wallets, not all wallets are equal
Yeah, but
too,
the thing
right?
is, like Nunchuck, the beauty of Nunchuck is it should be very useful for like organizations to have large amount of funds in it.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's a
remember,
savings
right?
wallet, right? So the standards are higher, I would say, than like a spending wallet.
Yeah, but like when you look at the marketing of pretty much all the phone wallets, they all say just put all your funds in it. so me,
But I mean,
like,
yeah, but still, Nunchuck specifically is like the its bread and butter could be the ultimate
yeah, and
organization savings wallet.
but here's the thing, right? Yes, I want to see deterministically built on that wallet is a big deal. Um, but one thing that is nice about it is because they're building things native and they're using like Bitcoin core methods of doing things, there is a lot less sort of like bullshit to dig through. So if they do add deterministically built to it, it should be very easy to
Good.
audit it.
I mean, I know
Now,
Hugo says he wants to, so
yeah, I mean, it's like a nice to have thing,
and
right? I
he
mean,
admits it's in beta still. He still calls
exactly.
it beta.
Now, now when you have like wallets that have like Java stacks and sort of like, major JavaScript stacks and they're serializing, deserializing, serializing, deserializing like secrets, that's really when things kind of shit hits the fan. Uh, it's hard to audit those projects. And then if they're not deterministically built, it's even worse, right? Because now it's already hard to audit it, and you cannot prove without re-auditing every time. So it's tricky. Yeah, we want to see that in all wallets, especially the ones out of beta. um, all right. Next is Green, Blockstream Green. That's another interesting wallet, and it's been in the market for a long time. And under Green Address used to be the name of it. If you don't know the story of the project, and
That was actually a really cool concept of the original green address.
yeah, I don't know. So the problem is Green Address is also the name of something else that was meant to be sort of like a unflagged or flagged as green addresses, so that you know that's not like a drug dealer or something.
Really? Who
So
was that?
yeah, it was an unfortunate name
That was someone
for.
else? Well, anyway, the idea for the original green address was like you'd hold it would be a collaborative multi-sig with green address or green wallet, whatever the previous name for
Yep,
green wallet was. I think it was green address. And so if you paid from there, a merchant could trust a zero confirmation transaction
that's
based
right.
on green address's reputation.
Yep, that was exactly it.
And that was like
Uh,
what, like 2013 or 2014 or something like that.
yeah, around that
Maybe a little
time.
bit later.
Yeah, I think it was post 2014 around that
Cool
time.
concept. Never got any uptick. I mean, merchant
No,
adoption
I
never
mean,
really
I
happened.
think I
So
think the name really sent back the concept too, because it was kind of like around the time where there was a lot of talk around people blocking transactions that were coming from, you know, things that they don't agree with, and they wanted to maybe include that in part of the Bitcoin consensus core code. So it was kind of bad name choice. But now it's called Blockstream Green, which is great. It looks very pretty. And in the last update, they added support ID on settings about multi-sig wallet. They changed drop address in transaction list, update GDK to 0.0.54, and updated translations. It's kind of cool. They do support quite a few languages, if I remember right. And they have been improving. I have one green wallet that I use for a specific purpose, and they have been improving. Now they support also a see. One thing that always drove me insane with that project was the fact that you had to use their non-standard way of doing Bitcoin multi-sig, or you couldn't use the wallet. Now they support uh, um, like just standard single sig, as well as a few other forms of script, which is nice. So good for them for
yeah, I mean,
adding
Green
more
Wallet was
things.
like way ahead of its time for a while, and then Blockstream acquired it. It was still kind of ahead of its time, and then they like let development um, stop. They didn't really have it as a priority, and then now
I
it
I
seems
think
like
it's a
they're
different
improving
priority,
it
Matt.
again, which is
So
awesome.
so Blockstream acquired them so that, as far as I understand, to have a wallet that supports Liquid, right? Um, and
Yeah, but
and
then they came out with a different wallet called
it was the
Aqua,
same. No, but it was the same code.
right?
So
But
then
that
they
was like
sort of like.
single sig with
Exactly. So then
Liquid.
they disambiguated the whole 50 different wallets into a single one that now supports everything, right? Um, I know they're working on PSPT support as well, which is nice. And I believe they're also working on HWI support, because this wallet does support many different systems with a good UI. So I am looking forward to having this wallet work with COLDCARD, so I can recommend to people who want a different wallet on their desktop or phone. All right. Now the old good beast, one of my favorite wallets, Electrum. Also one of the oldest wallets. I believe it's the first wallet after Bitcoin Core with like a reasonable install base. Is that old? I think they launched in 2011. Um, so they did add Lightning to Electrum, which sort of made things more complicated in a very complicated code base. So in this last update, 4.2.2 in May 27th, on the Lightning part, they added watching on chain outputs, enforce relative order of some of the messages during reestablishment. I, that goes into the Lightning stuff that I don't really pay too much attention. uh, I love Lightning. It's just too much for me to pay attention to. Um, all right, hardware wallets.
Especially Electrum's Python implementation. Like,
Yeah,
no
well,
one cares.
I don't know. Like the thing about Electrum that I like is that it works. It just works, and it does everything you need to do. And in my lifetime, it never broke. So like respect for that. It's like, and also maintaining a wallet the size is not easy, and maintaining a wallet the size for these many years also not easy. Um, I just I just wish they had not added Lightning to that wallet. I wish they had made it maybe a side thing, or maybe Electrum Lightning or something, so it wouldn't be
And it
the
wasn't like
same
it was an
one.
easy task. Like, there was a lot of man hours that went into that.
Oh my god, it was monumental effort, and they,
Yeah.
props to them. They even started before a lot of the standards were in place. Uh Similar with BIP39, which they still don't support by default. Um, and But in my opinion, the biggest mistake they made was starting development of Lightning on master branch. That made Electrum essentially not released for a year. But they did, and it works. And they keep on pushing updates out, which is really cool. So yeah, on the hardware wallets, smarter pairing during signed transactions. They fix a few things with Keep Key. It's amazing to me that Keep Key is still around.
The Trezor clone.
The Trezor clone that went closed source because it was a different license at the time. It was a pre-GPL when they cloned, I think.
Oh, is it
Uh,
still is Keep Key's closed source right now?
I think it is. I
Hmm.
could be wrong, but I think it is.
Well, anyway, if you're listening to this, don't use a Keep Key.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they no, they have. I don't know if they even updated that project since.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
just don't do it. It's not
yeah.
worth it. Makes no sense.
So fix app image, fix bypass network blocks. Nothing really of note here. Fix security fix. Remove support for file in your eyes on BIP 70. BIP 70. All right. So next, SpecterDesktop. They have a nice tweet with the noteworthy updates. Thank you, Spectre. So
Yeah,
Spectre,
Spectre's pretty good about it.
yes,
So is BTC Pay.
yes.
I think Sparrow's pretty good about it.
Yeah, just have a tweet. Tweets are great. They force you
I mean,
to have a
BTC
very
Pay gives you like
short.
a nice little blog post too, usually
That's
with their
right.
updates, which is really nice.
We are kind of all over the place. Essentially, what we do is we have a slightly shorter version of the release notes on Twitter, and then a picture of the release notes, and then the true fully released notes on GitHub.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a hypocrite about it. Like, you could do a little bit
Yes.
better with it.
Yeah, I mean that's the basis of being a company, is being a hypocrite. Like,
Fair enough. Well, at least you admit it. Do better, MBK.
all right. So Spectre 1.10.3 is out. Spook emoji. June 23rd, so it's recent. Okay, so feature drag and drop for PSBT import. Well, that's nice. So now I can drag from my COLDCARD's virtual disk into SpecterDesktop UI. That's pretty cool. It should make it a lot easier. And then they have 6 bug fixes. See, that's a summary. 2 chores and 1 docs and 1 UI. So yeah, check out SpecterDesktop. is a good project. And what I love about it talks directly to core. It really is sort of like very little stack that you need to run it. And their UI does keep on updating and improving.
I mean, I think
Uh,
one benefit of Electrum stalling on updates to integrate their own Lightning implementation was we might not have seen Spectre and Sparrow get birthed otherwise.
yeah, no,
They
it's
kind of were birthed out of this void that was left from Electrum not updating.
yeah. I mean, Bitcoin Core Web, like the UI wallet is it's you either love it or you hate it. Most of the devs who work on it love it, therefore it doesn't change. And it's also a monumental amount of change. It's changing UI in complex desktop native software is complicated, especially when it's open source, because designers and UX people don't code. And in open source projects like Bitcoin Core is very sort of meritocratic and sort of self initiated, right? So if you want to do something, go and do it. But especially in Bitcoin Core, you're going to get 10 no's before you get a yes. So if you are the unicorn who can code and do UI, you're already gonna get 10 no's. But most guys can't code who can do UI, so they make these pretty UIs, and then they sort of like, here, somebody code this, which is the other 90% of the work, and everybody's just like, no, right? So it's a tricky thing. We appreciate everybody for working on it. All right. So moving on to Matt's favorite project, and because he literally dropped the Open Dimes hat for Sparrow's hat, it was noticed.
I wear both.
Yeah, no, you don't. I know we're an old girlfriend.
I just go through my phases where I just choose one hat and just wear it into the ground.
So Sparrow is a
The nice
relatively
thing about the
new.
open dime hat is it's really hard to wear it into the ground. The like ripstop material or whatever that material is
Oh,
fucking
you have the
fire.
old trucker hat, right? Yeah.
No, no, I have the good one. I have the one that's like made out of the mil spec material.
Oh, those, I like those. I have a
Those
few of
like you
those.
can't destroy at all, and they're great
No,
for
you
traveling.
you literally can't destroy it. I used one of those ones to drink water off the lake. Uh, yeah. So okay. So Sparrow. Sparrow is a very cool project. It's relatively new. What is it? 2 years old now. Uh, it's run by
Maybe less.
Craig Wright,
Craig
and
Raw,
Craig
completely
Raw.
different
Sorry,
Craig.
I know. Oops. Craig Wright. Uh,
Talk about a
Craig
bad
Raw.
fuck up.
Jesus. Okay, for the audience, I'm dyslexic. Okay, give me a break. Um, so anyways, I met Craig in Miami. It was
Yeah,
fun.
he's awesome.
We
I met
spent
his
some
wife
time
too.
chatting. Yes, very nice lady. Um, so they are pumping features. Wow, he reminds me of Doc Hacks. They just pump, like, get shit done. I lost the release. I need to go see that here. Release notes. So Craig does not have a good summary of notes. So we'll go through a few. So on May 26th, they released 1.6.5. They had a Ledger Nano as support, really, because it's HWI. So you notice a pattern that all the wallets that use HWI will add, it's not just plug and play, but they will go in and add the implementation of the new wallet that's being supported by HWI, which is a great way of handling all this stuff. They now allow watch only key stores to enable signing from matching connected hardware wallets. Oh, that's cool. So now you can sign connected too. They can also import gap limits from Electrum. I think they had different gap limits. For people that don't know, the gap limits are essentially how many derivation addresses and the space in between those you have or generate and start watching. So now they can match Electrums when they import. So Sparrow was very clever on the beginning by essentially importing the Electrum, which is one of the most used wallets in the market before, importing their JSON file, which is their wallet file, into Sparrow and just simply working, which is fantastic. I love that kind of thinking. And then they have a bunch of bug fixes on that release, including one from Andrew Chow. Andrew Chow is now a signet. Isn't he? He has a key now for Bitcoin Core, right? He's doing a lot of core work, and
I'm
he's the
not sure,
maintainer
but
for
it's in good
HWI.
hands if he does.
Yep, he's a very bright kid.
Love that dude. We're lucky to have him.
Yep. And if Andrew is listening, make sure to merge Tap Signer into HWI. We're waiting. Love you.
Did I tell
So
you that I gave a Sats card and a tap signer to a Titans football player?
nice. That's. I hope that there is a wallet that supports it in the wild
I
soon.
mean, I told him it like wasn't really ready yet. I was just using it as a demo, and he's like, "Can I have this?" I was like, "I'm not going to say no to you. You can take it. Just know that you're like one of the few in the world who has it right now."
That's right.
He was
Very
super
few.
excited about it. It was like this young kid.
That's awesome. Hopefully soon everybody's gonna have it and it's gonna be cheap. So looking forward to that. Right, bug fixes. Restore hardware wallet from communication and older Mac OS. When hiding empty used addresses, add and remove addresses if address balance changes. This is a classic programmer wrote the release notes. Explicitly commit spinner editor value when closing dialogues. So essentially, they fix the spinning of the mouse spinning. Fix date sorting in the UTXO table. That's nice. And a few other ones. Fix PSPT Taproot internal key duplication. Okay, so they might have had a bug with that. And set lock all wallet menu control command status on every wallet lock. And that's just more closing little holes there. Oh, I guess it's too bad we missed because the previous release was a massive release. They added native support for Apple M1. They added Blockstream Jade support. They upgraded to the newest HWI, probably why the subsequent release had the Nano Ledger S support. There's also Taproot signing support now. Support scanning seeds, and a bunch of other things. Very, very good work. That's a lot of work. So props to Craig.
Craig is an absolute legend. We're lucky to have him. I think
Yes.
Sparrow is by far my favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
My
it's
favorite software wallet to use with signers now.
the UI is nice. It's
It's
very
so nice
nice.
the way you visualize transactions. You know, like what he has done with Sparrow reminds me of what you and Peter have done with ColdCard, which is you can very much tell that it's a person who or a group of people who like needed a solution on for using Bitcoin. They needed a tool for using Bitcoin, so they built it around their own need.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Um,
not shitcoin or banker sort of like, hey, I need a wallet.
Yeah, it's
Or
it's 100% like I need something to use, so I'm going to build it myself, and
yeah,
then ideally be able to make some profit, some lean profit on the side of it with it, and yeah. So shout out to him, and it is a monetized project now because he does have the CoinJoin built in, so he is making revenue off of it. But if you want to support him, he has a donation page on
no, that's
SparrowWallet.com,
great.
so
Like I
consider
want
contributing.
every sort of like good developer, good contributor to projects to make a killing, not just a little bit. I hope they all become extremely wealthy from their work.
I mean, that's the
I
ideal situation because the donation model is not sustainable.
No, I mean, it's what like I sort of like joke sometimes is bagware, right? Like
Yeah,
you can't maintain money handling software on like on donations only, right? Um, and
100%.
Bitcoin Core does have enough money because a lot of people got in early, a lot of people get grants. It's the base layer. The side projects, all the ecosystem projects, right? uh, it's a lot harder and a lot more complicated because traditionally, if you want to make sure you don't make money, go work on open source projects. And then in Bitcoin, like all those projects have also competition, so it diminishes even their sort of like their market base, and it's nice to see people come up with ways of making good money, and I hope they make all the money. um, so yeah.
Yeah, no,
Move.
you want to see sustainable models.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be sustainable, right? I don't want people having to email a bunch of people saying, "Hey, I need help financially to maintain this project." Like, you want people to feel like they have enough value.
But
And
I think also at the same time, like if you're finding software useful, and they accept donations, even if they are monetizing, still consider donating. It shouldn't be one or the other.
but,
Like
but
a
most
good
people don't, Matt.
example.
That's the problem. Like,
What?
most people don't donate like
I
that.
know, but my point is like in the early phase. So like right now, like basically like Sparrow is ramping up his monetization and it's becoming sustainable, right? But in the early days, the donations still help, even though he's doing that. And like a good example right now is RoboSats, which is this new P2P KYC free, no KYC Bitcoin exchange that's Tor only. And like they're built from the ground up to be sustainable. Like they take a fee of every transaction.
I love it.
But those fees don't cover development right now still,
Right.
right? Like they're in this bootstrap phase. So I'm donating to RoboSats even though they have a sustainable model. So I'm just saying that people shouldn't just look at these things and be like, oh,
Well,
well, they're
another
monetizing, so I'm not going to donate.
right. I think another thing too is that, like, it helps developers, or like project maintainers. It helps the project people to see market signals, right? So if they see that there is enough donations going to their project, they will put more effort in and build more features, and maybe they will, maybe that's the thing that makes it they make the decision if they're going to go full time on it or not, right? Because a lot of times people just don't know how much market there is out there for what they make. People cheering on Twitter for the project doesn't really sort of mean much. Is very helpful, is like in terms of like spreading the word about the project, but like people, you know parting away with their sats, to support a project, really sort of reinforces for the maker that there is a
Right.
market and they should continue, right? Even if it may not be a lot now, like, it just signals to them that there is a market that is willing to pay for it, as opposed to just thank them for it, right? I think that's why it's so important to monetize things.
100%. We're on the same page on this.
Yeah. All right. So the Fountain app podcast. I'm gonna go. You're gonna love this one. I'm gonna go through the App Store release notes, which is 0.4 bug fixes and improvements, 0.3 bug fixes and improvements, 0.319 bug fixes and improvements.
I should tell Oscar that he should do better with that. Shout out to Oscar.
I don't have release notes for it.
Well, the big
Uh,
one for so the big one for zero, the previous release, what is that? 0.3.0?
Whatever, the one
Well,
before four.
the one before the most recent release, the big improvement was offline listening, which I think is a must for podcast
Oh, that
apps.
it has to happen. Yes.
So that was a big one. But Fountain Podcast is a podcasting 2.0 app, where you can stream sats to content creators that you enjoy. Um, so it's one of the leading ones along with Breeze Wallet. Yeah, so offline listening was a big ad for the previous release, and then this release, the big ad is listeners now can earn sats. If you listen to a podcast through Fountain Podcasts, you automatically, without doing anything, just start receiving sats.
That's pretty
um,
cool. Getting
yeah, it's a
paid
nice
from
little
the
incentive
advertiser
structure.
directly. Money goes from the advertiser to the
Exactly, you
media
actually get paid
distributor.
more if you listen to ads too.
That's great. I love it.
It's like a cool concept. They're like tweaking the incentives over there, but it's a pretty cool concept. The one major negative of Fountain right now is that the Lightning wallet is custodial. So um, you have custodial risk there. You shouldn't keep much
I
on
don't
it,
have a problem with that.
but they are actively trying to get away from that, and they'll probably end up using Greenlight through Blockstream, which is a trust minimized cloud solution.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, like lightning amounts are economically more irrelevant, right? So it's like, it's not like the incentive to rob your own user base is a lot lower.
It's
Uh,
like the way I look at it is like, okay, so like how much cash do you have in your back pocket if you go out, right?
exactly.
Like if you get robbed in that situation and you lose $100, it's
And
not
realistically
not the end of the
speaking,
world.
running your own Lightning node is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I think it's a reasonable compromise. It's
The
nice to
bigger
have
issue
options.
is with custody is like if you get big enough, the
Yes,
regulators are going to come after you and make you add KYC, and no one wants
that's right.
KYC.
That's yeah,
So Greenlight is actually a really compelling solution here. The major negative of Greenlight is the node is offline if the user's app isn't open, because the user's app is holding the keys. That's what makes
mm,
it trust minimized. The keys aren't on the server.
right.
But in this particular instance, if it's a listener paying while they're listening to a podcast, they already have the app open. So Greenlight could be perfect for that. It doesn't solve the problem for the content creator. The content creator basically needs a 24/7 node always on.
Great.
Um,
Well, but Fountain app could also just handle that for the content creator too, right? They can host the bitcoin.review.
or like
Uh,
voltage. They could do like voltage for the 24/7 node, something like that, where you have a
nice.
hosted node.
It's fun to see new stuff. That's another nice thing too. It's like that's like new and novel. Like it's nice that people are trying different stuff. They're not just sort of like trying to compete on the same sort of spec as some other app.
I agree.
Cool.
But shout
Okay.
out to Oscar and the rest of the Fountain team.
Yes,
It's
please
impressive
add release
how quick
notes.
they're building over there. Yeah, but also, yeah, add release notes, dude. He usually
So
releases a blog post. He releases like blog post that's pretty good about what the updates, but you should have it in the App Store too.
no, I bet there was. I mean, so just Matt sent me Fountain app to add to the list, but he of course did not give me the proper URL for it with the release notes.
I mean, NVK like messaged me 2 hours ago and he's like, I want to do the show. You want to be the first guest? And I was like, yeah, add Fountain. Because he sent me a whole list of all the updates. It was the first thing I
um,
noticed wasn't there.
so I'm gonna move on now to the Bitcoin uptake. Do you have any other apps that we may have missed?
um, well, Wasabi 2.0 came out.
That's
Nobody
right.
should use it.
Yeah, well, I think it's complicated.
They're using chain analysis. They're paying chain
Yeah,
surveillance firms to fucking.
but every yeah, I mean it sucks. It does suck. But I think we're gonna more and more see that happening, and I think a lot of projects that deal with stuff like this that have a
Yeah, I
server
mean, this is
server
cope.
side.
This is straight cope.
No, I don't use Wasabi personally because I don't really I use JM.
Well, on top of
Um,
that, if for whatever reason, if you're using a privacy wallet that is
no,
literally over
it's not
complying and
great.
paying chain
Very black.
surveillance is
Yeah,
fine
I
with
agree.
you, I would add that. Um, so Wasabi 2.0, the reason I'm bringing it up is because there was a massive change in how they do CoinJoin. Um, it was a fundamental change, and they implemented this new protocol, Wabi Sabi, which, like, on the surface seems like a pretty cool improvement. You don't have a minimum amount anymore. The UX is cleaned up a lot, um, but it's complicated. Like the method they're using is kind of obscure and complicated. Um,
But is it
and
reviewed?
the
I
lead
like
the
this
lead
full
creator of
disclosure.
Wabi.
I have not like looked into it at all.
Well, that's
So
one of the issues they have is like a lot because they added this chain surveillance element. They've lost a lot of their diehard contributors because they're all privacy focused people.
mm,
So the review is minimal, and then the creator of this Wabi Sabi protocol, which is what is the basis of Wasabi 2.0, is named nothing much. He actually has me blocked on Twitter, but I have a lot of respect for that dude, and he has a whole thread where he's like, "This is unsafe to use." So
oh,
if the
okay.
creator
Well,
of the fucking
then it's
protocol
then it
is
says
saying
everything
that
that
they
you need to know
implemented
about
it
it.
poorly and that he doesn't want anyone to use it, like, that's enough for me.
Here's a question: do they use the chain analysis stuff on the normal wallet use? No, right?
Yeah,
Because
my
you use your
understanding
own
is
node.
all. Oh, no, it's only inputs for only, but it's for inputs of CoinJoin rounds. So if you're going into a CoinJoin round, it presumably gets sent to a chain
I see.
surveillance firm, and then that chain surveillance firm basically gives them the nod, yes or no. But on top of that, the way they've implemented Wabi Sabi, supposedly, um, extra data is getting leaked to the server, and presumably the chain surveillance firm they're using as well
That's
that can
very
link inputs
unfortunate.
together and shit. It's
I
like
I
pretty bad.
I find hard to believe that that a project will have a long stall base after adding chain
It seems
surveillance
like
to it.
they're struggling. Which
No, I
is
mean, of course, but my view on this, that like the problem is any project that has capturable people that does this kind of like service will eventually be presented with two choices: either go to jail or like cuck itself, right? I
okay,
think
so
it's a
they
matter of
just
time.
close down the fucking thing then.
Exactly. No, that's but
Like Wasabi's
then is
still an
the
open
option.
source project. Anyone can run a coordinator. Close
Yeah,
down the fucking company then. If you
yeah.
can't do it in if you can't
Well,
do it in a
maybe
safe
that's
way,
what's going to
then
happen, right? Maybe they will close down the company because it's going to be very hard to have users doing coin join if they're getting being sent to chain analytics.
yeah, it's
Uh,
pretty fucked up.
but I'm not going to get into the whole coin mixing. It's just too much drama for my taste. But why is it that the coin the mixing coin crowd is so complicated? It's beyond me. Anyways,
I
any
don't
other
know.
project?
All my favorite projects in this space are a little bit
Complicated.
crazy. I mean, you went through your own like feels like a long time ago, but what was it, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the hardware wallet chaos between all the
But I
companies.
think that was really the problem is I think it's different. The hardware wallet market never really had competition for a long time, and then it had competition, and some players that had a certain sort of like standing in the market sort of dropped. That caused a lot of drama. Me on Twitter. I have, I don't wear gloves, uh, and yeah, but it was different. I think it was more market based, and it was sort of like this market sort of finding itself on how to relate to each other as competition as well, and it was all sort of
Whatever you need to say to yourself, bro.
exactly. That's what I tell myself. And but as you said, it feels like it was a lifetime ago because it was all mostly resolved. Right? Some players still don't talk to each other, whatever. But the drama greatly went away. Right now on the coin join space, it's like only worst, and they managed to somehow involve everybody else too.
I don't
It's
know if it's
just too
worse at this
much.
point. I think it's cleared up a bit. I mean, no one defends Wasabi now, so
No, but it
all
leaks
those
like it
defenders are
leaches.
quiet.
It leaches to everybody. I mean, like. Well, anyways, I won't get into it. It's not the kind of podcast for that.
I mean, I think yeah, I don't know. There's fair enough. We can continue. I'm glad it was a big release. I think it was important to bring up Wasabi 2.0.
No, I
Um,
think yeah, I think it's a good point.
but don't use
Uh,
it.
yeah, yeah, I didn't bring it up.
I guess it's probably safe to use with a hardware signing device. But
Not for mixing. If mixing is getting chain analysis, is
yeah,
not safe to use.
don't use it for coin join. But then also on top of that, by the way, they removed coin control. Like, so maybe it's not even good. Just use Sparrow. Okay,
So
next
Matt, what
topic.
you're really saying is that like we're gonna have to do drinking on the show like you do on the other show, and now I understand why. See,
This is what if you do it every week, there's no choice.
no, yeah. So let's talk about frequency here. This is best efforts. Maybe I'll do this like every
The
couple
next
weeks,
one's going to be in like 3 months.
maybe a month, maybe it's next year. Who knows, right? So now let's move on to another big part of the show, which is reading the Bitcoin Uptech newsletter. We're just gonna glance over. For people that don't know, the Bitcoin Uptech is an incredible resource for
Yeah,
what's
go
happening in
subscribe to
Bitcoin.
that.
Go subscribe,
BitcoinOptech.com.
sign up for the newsletters, subscribe to their Twitter. It's like it really is phenomenal. Really high signal to noise there. Mike Schmidt, I know he's one of the main contributors there, And
Yeah, Schmitty's great.
yes, so without further ado, the news, full replace by fee. So there's been some talks, and there is a couple PRs to remove RBF, which is replaced by fee from the default. You know, as a sane citizen of Bitcoin, I don't get involved in these discussions. I still believe RBF should be on by default, because replaced by fee is essentially the default behavior of Bitcoin itself. You can double spend your own transaction if you want to, so might as well make it into an official standardized thing, and that's why I like RBF. So yeah, but there is a PR that's gotten some traction, and you know what? It's probably going to get merged. Hertzbleed. That was a nice pun. Very good pun. So essentially, there was a vulnerability on the. I believe I haven't read through it, but just from the pun and from the first paragraph here, I imagine is a similar to a power differential analysis attack. They're trying to read the computation happening on the chip, and then they can essentially, through a side channel, like read the private key being generated or used. Um, Even on this article here, it says that they don't know the extent of the vulnerability, and Bitcoin Core also does a lot of things to prevent attacks, side channel attacks on its private key computation. But no one should have a private key on a computer, anyways. You should have it on your hardware wallet. So this attack
Isn't
would
your
not
hardware
be
wallet a computer?
well. No. So exactly. So if your code card is immune to this because it's not the computer, it's not being attacked by this.
It's a different
So
computer.
the lesson really is go to air. What is it? I have a meme website for this. Air Gap
You're the only person
Computer.
who has a bigger domain issue than I do.
Oh, dude, it's
How much do you spend every year on them, and are you downsizing in the bear market?
the thing is I'm starting to run out of ideas for domains. Anyways,
But
airgapcomputer.com.
have you cut the fat at all in the bear market? I've been cutting the fat a little bit. Some of them
Uh
in the bull market, some of the ones I registered are
no,
just
not for
ridiculous.
domains. No,
Dude, it
certain ones
adds
are
up.
fun.
It fucking
Yeah,
adds
but
up.
but Matt, like, see, the thing is, I've sold a few domains for like
I'm a hodler. I've never sold.
for essentially what gave me free reign of domains forever.
I guess.
In my company, I do not have to explain my domain behavior to anyone internally, because I have paid ourselves over and over, many
Bitcoin
times over.
Treasures was a really nice coup.
Uh, yeah, I mean that was a good sale too. Um, so yeah,
That was a nice
so,
little pump and dump.
no, well, I mean, I did offer the rest of the. Anyways, long story. um, so hearts bleed. It would not be an issue at all if you use a hardware wallet. So stop listening to the Wookiee and buy yourself a cold card. Yes, I'm biased on that one because I make it and it is better. So use that. And if you still don't believe me, go to airgapcomputer.com. He explains to you why you shouldn't use an airgap computer.
Yeah, go verify NVK's claim by going to the site that NVK created.
Exactly. What is it? Trust and verify.
Trust and verify.
That's right.
Don't trust and verify, guys.
I really hope people are not like taking samples of this conversation to create a new
They're going to take it all out of context. It's important.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I have over 700 hours of public Bitcoin conversation out there that is oftentimes drunk. So
yeah, well, I mean,
won't be the first time.
Yeah, I have a personal policy of not doing recording while inebriated.
Yeah, well, you just don't do enough. That's why.
If I keep on doing this podcast where I read people's updates and I
You're
have
gonna
to
have to,
discuss the
dude.
CoinJoin people, I'm gonna start having a serious drinking problem.
Dude, people say to me, they're like, Matt, you seem like really tired and frustrated on Rabbit Hole Recap today. Is like everything okay? It's like, I've been doing this for 3 fucking years. Like sometimes I'm being frustrated and tired. Like, what do you fucking expect? Like,
um,
that's healthy.
all right, so they have there was some drama about the time stamping design on open timestamp. I didn't really follow it. I
It's like a
recommend.
sneaky project that I love.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It was Peter Todd who created open timestamps. I recommend people go read the newsletter to get more on that, and also on the new Rito anti-Cybo method by Waxwing.
You know, you're in a bear market when people on Twitter are accusing Peter Todd of fudding Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, who brings up tail emissions for Bitcoin and does not expect to be called a spook?
I know, like he was just asking for it, right?
No, I mean, like yeah, I mean, it's like the equivalent of
Especially
like we're
especially after a
trolling.
40% dump, like the price dumps 40%, you're going to send out a tweet saying that we should increase the 21 million cap.
No,
Like,
I
what
mean,
did you expect?
and that's assuming that there is a concern, right? There is no concern. Everything is great. Bitcoin is perfect. Move on. There is no tail emissions. We're not gonna accept my node to never run tail emissions. Period.
But still, it's fucking Peter Todd. Like, he's not
Yeah.
it's not cheap
But
FUD, you
he
know?
likes some controversy too. He
Yeah.
loves bringing in some controversial topics. Good on him. We need the controversy. That's how we find problems. All right. Notable changes to services and client software. Zeus added Taproot. There you go. We missed that one on our list. So Evan, we're very sorry. Actually no, I didn't add Zeus to the list because I think their last update was a while back. So
Yeah, but some of these, like, you have updates from January. Like, I didn't know
I
they were
know,
coming.
I know. I'm not perfect. I just started this.
Well, anyway, Zeus is the single best way to interact with a Lightning node from your phone if you have a 24/7 Lightning node at home.
Yes,
There's
Zeus
basically
is great,
nothing else that competes with it
and
that I'm aware of.
and Evan is doing really good work.
Yeah, shout out to Kaludis. He's a real
Matt's
one.
favorite, Wasabi Wallet 2.0. Moving on. Sparrow adds
We already
Taproot
covered that
hardware
one at length.
signing, which is because of HWI got upgraded. Thanks, Chow. And then release candidates for LND.
Chow basically carries HWI on his back, right?
It's just him. It's just him.
Another one man. There's a lot of one man legends.
No,
in
but
Bitcoin.
but to be fair though, people do contribute to HWI. Like a lot of the hardware wallets themselves have their people help implement the changes to HWI for their new releases. So it is collaborative, but yes, Chow does carry that on his back. And he is the kind of person who does test everything and review everything, right? That's why it takes a little longer. All right. So on the Lightning front, of course, the three of the four main releases of it's LND had a main release. LDK had another main release. BDK has experimental support for Taproot, descriptors, PSPT. BDK is a very cool project. It does help a lot of devs implement a wallet without knowing how to implement a wallet. So I'm very bullish on the library.
Yeah, I mean, BDK is super promising. It's just not really there yet, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, writing a wallet is a lot of work, and these guys are doing that with a lot of features at the same time, which is just exponentially harder.
But basically, the idea of BDK is like it's the base. It could be the base for any new wallet, right? And then like people can build on top of it and make whatever changes they want to make, but they don't have to don't have to build from scratch the core logic, right?
Yeah, but none of this stuff is plug and play, right? You still have to. There's a lot of glue and a lot of stuff you need to.
But it's supposed to make it easier, at least.
It does.
And then the idea is that that'll bring more competition among wallets, and we'll have better wallets, and everyone will win.
Yeah,
and it's funded
Bitcoin wins
by Block, formerly Square.
Yes, and so is LDK, right?
LDK, which is the same idea, but with
what about Lightning Core? That was an unfortunate choice of name. Core Lightning. unfortunate. I preferred when it was C Lightning because it's written in C.
But no, I guess part of the reason is because they've been doing more that's not written in C. But I mean,
I see.
the real reason is because they're pissed off at L&D for branding itself as Lightning. So it's a shot back at them.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's kind of like, remember blockchain.info, which was blockchain, and everybody went to blockchain.
yeah, don't use that site either if you're
Yeah,
listening.
exactly. I don't think people who listen to a podcast about Bitcoin software updates would have to be warned about blockchain.info.
They get an hour and 15 minutes into this fucking rip, and they're like, "Oh wow, they mentioned blockchain.info. I'm gonna go check out that wallet."
Right,
Don't
exactly.
do that.
They survived this long.
Still
All
gotta
right.
cover it. You gotta cover it just in case.
Yeah. Notable code and documentation changes this week. Well, in their week, not my week. Bitcoin Core, Core Lightning, well, essentially all the projects. And then, HWI. Yeah, HWI added the single sig support for Back32M addresses, which helps with Taproot. Okay. All right. Now, I have a few more things here on the list. So next would be, which I did it in the wrong order.
There's
Of
Blixt
course.
Wallet. We didn't cover Blixt Wallet.
Blixt?
That's
What?
pretty dope. BLIXT Lightning Wallet.
Don't know that one. You go
It's
for it.
Android and iPhone.
Okay. So
it's a really
cool,
nice wallet.
Okay, I'll check it out. Well,
What
how
was
do
the
you
other
spell
one?
it?
We didn't. What? BLIXT.
BLIXT. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they add NFC. It looks like they have it on their roadmap, but it's not on it yet.
Yeah. BLIXT wallet. Okay, I'll check that one out.
It's a pretty powerful wallet. Mercury Wallet. There's been some good updates to Mercury Wallet. The last Blixt Wallet update was on March 4th. V0.5.1.
All right.
And then Mercury Wallet has been. I've seen a lot of updates.
Which one is
with Mercury?
Mercury? Who's
That's
working?
that's the state chain swaps wallet. It does coin swaps on a state chain. It's a privacy focused wallet that uses a state chain implementation that's like not as good as, I guess, what was it, Samson who came up with the original state chains proposal?
I can't remember.
Whoever came
I
out with
don't
the
follow
original one, it requires some kind of protocol change, so they figured out a way to do like a slightly less good version without any kind of protocol change. And you basically switch into their state chain, which has reduced custodial risk. But if they're the other counterparty, like if they're malicious, then they could take your money. But if they're not, it requires them plus one of the participants to collude together to take your money.
That's pretty good.
But as a
It's
result,
a decent set of trade-off.
Yeah, as a result, it's off chain, and then you can do all these swaps to gain privacy without paying transaction fees, and then you withdraw back to the chain.
Nice.
Cool project.
Yeah.
And they've been making a lot of progress lately.
Do you like privacy, Matt?
No, not really.
You don't. You don't have anything to hide.
No, fuck you.
Okay.
Privacy is one of the most important topics in Bitcoin today, and hopefully
it's great
good to see,
segue.
Good to see so many tools coming out that are focused on it.
Okay, so that's a great segue to Taproot adoption on the Bitcoin Wiki. It's not really a segue. Okay, so apparently Armory is planning.
Armory
is planning Taproot.
The Armory.
I know. I just amazed. I
haven't heard that wallet in years.
I know. Anyway, so I don't think anyone should use Armory anymore. Aqua, well, which is green. Let's see here. Who implemented send to Taproot is Bitcoin, Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Nox, Blockstream Green, Bitcoin Wallet for Android, BlueWallet. Breeze didn't and it won't. says no. BTC.com ? Caravan plan. Caravan is from Unchained Capital. Casa planned. Seed Lightning. Yes. Coinami ?
Core Lightning, you mean?
No, Coinami.
No, before that you said Sea Lightning. It's Core Lightning.
Right, no, but it's written as Sea Lightning here.
Okay, but Sea Lightning doesn't exist.
I refuse. I will call it Sea Lightning to the day I die. Okay, Electrum, yes. Exodus, yes. FullyNoded, yes. Guarda Wallet, ? Joy Market, yes. LND, coming. Mun, yes. It's Moon. I always say Mun. I don't know why.
Moon with 2 U's.
Yes. Mycelium, ? Nunchuck, yes. Phoenix, ? Samurai, yes. Sparrow, yes. Spectre, yes. Trust Wallet, yes. Uniblow, never heard of that. Yes. Wallets of Satoshi, yes. Wasabi Wallet, yes. Hardware wallet support is a little trickier, but it's essentially just signing to the address. So Trezor, yes. Ledger, yes. Keep key, don't use it, and it doesn't. Bitbox, yes. Trezor with Electrum, yes. Bitbox, yes. Keep key, ? Arcos, ? COLDCARD, yes. Ballet, ? Seed signer planned. Tangent, ? Blockstream, yes. And Keystone plan for Q1 2022. So I guess it didn't happen. Web wallets. Coinapult, ? Coin.space, ?
Are you just reading Taproot support?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
BitGo, yes. BitNob, yes. Blockchain.com, planned. That's weird. They just did hierarchical deterministic like the other day. They never did
Didn't they just add
BIP32.
Segwit like a couple months ago?
Something like that too. Fireblocks planned. Fireblocks is a big deal because they are the back end of a lot of the exchanges. So if you want to send from an exchange to a Taproot address, they would probably need to support that.
Yeah,
Hold the
Fireblocks
transaction.
is like a massive centralization risk that very few people ever talk about.
Yeah, but it's certified, Matt.
It's certified.
It's certified. Hold the transactions, yes. Coinb.in, ? Guarda ? Do I go through the exchanges? Nah. Bitcoin ATMs?
cares?
Nah. Blockchain Explorers?
Do you use Taproot yet?
What, me? No, I won't use Taproot for a long time.
Okay.
I don't use
so
anything that's new. Our store,
why are we reading this?
Coinkite.com still uses one addresses, legacy addresses.
I feel like this is a good time to remind people that like that's on the receiver. Like there's no, I guess except for privacy reasons, there's no reason to be upset if a merchant or a person is using an old address because the fee savings are dependent on this. The fee savings are dependent on the sender, not the receiver. So
that's right. Well, for a while we were getting a little bit of hate because people didn't understand that, so we had to.
I know, that's why I'm repeating it. I'm well aware.
Right. All right. Going to the next topic: Bitcoin signing devices. So we started this little initiative that many people have sort of like pushed here and there, but I figured they needed a domain, right? You need to buy domains, otherwise things don't exist. So signingdevice.com. And the biggest problem is hardware wallets are not.
Did you have to buy that on, like you bought that from a previous owner, right?
No,
like that wasn't available.
It was available.
It was just available for like the usual like .com price. You
just
like bought it.
Yeah. Well, that's really, crazy. My price cost. Like I get it for cheaper.
That's crazy. Signingdevice.com was available.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah. So we made a little website. Hardware wallets are not wallets. They're signing devices. Wallets have UTXO information, block data information. They can construct transactions. Hardware wallets don't know anything. They just sign transactions. Well, some do better than others. But essentially, they cannot construct a transaction because they don't have blockchain data. So that's why the PSBT comes from the software wallet to your Bitcoin signing device. So the more people we can get on the train of calling Bitcoin hardware wallets Bitcoin signing devices, the better it's going to be for the next round on the next Bitcoin hype cycle. Uh, because right now it's just us left here, right? That Bitcoin crashed. So there's probably nobody that cares about this around for now. Sorry, nobody that doesn't care about this is around for now. But yeah, on the next cycle, let's try to get people saying signing devices and move on from this. We have gone through the trouble of going on the COLDCARD website and adding signing devices everywhere on the text to start properly confusing people with the new term. Next here, one more domain, bitcoinbinary.org. I wanted to give a little update on this one. It's a child project of mine. So I wanted like a website where notable members of the community that can code and can build projects from source code would post a video of them doing the deterministic build, right? Proving on video that they did it, so that people that can't have one more source of truth. Is it better than themselves building? Of course not, but it's one more source of truth. And we had a bounty for somebody to automate builds, and sort of like we can get a round of builds to at least test if they build automatically. And I forgot the name of the person, the nim who did it, but he claimed the bounty. And now when there's new versions, we can get the website to build it with a little video showing that it was built on
That's
top
pretty
of
cool.
community members to do it. And it's such a simple little thing that exponentially improves their security that I don't know, it just felt like it needed to exist.
Love it.
All right.
Great initiative.
Yeah. If only they would mention at the other podcast that does the releases.
I've definitely mentioned it in the past on Rabbit Hole Recap.
All right. So the only mention about price, which is not going to be mentioned about price, is an update on BitcoinTreasuries.net. Essentially, the miners all dumped half their coins. The big publicly traded miners. So that was reflected on BitcoinTreasuries.net. And Mr. Saylor has not added more publicly to his hodl. So we have a lot of entries, but they've been pretty much not updated. And I think probably Celsius went to 0. So there you go. Lastly, which I should have brought up
probably
earlier.
safe to put Celsius at 0 now.
No, it's actually minus. But yeah. Okay, lastly, which I was going to do earlier, but I'll do it now, the Coinkite updates. We have one more product on the cards line that we haven't talked much about it because we just sort of invented and then we sort of went through the trouble of getting it out. It's called the SATSCHIP, and it's essentially a real NFT, the way it was supposed to be. It's a way for you to add a chip to a piece of art signed with Bitcoin signature, and uses sort of like the OpenDime model, so you can't really take the private
This is a
key out.
Coinkite product?
Yeah. It's essentially based on the Sats card and the top signer.
And also, I mean, I just seen a lot of artists basically embed OpenDime, so I guess this is like purposed for that.
Yeah, good point. I forgot that. And that's pretty much the reason why we did it, is because we didn't want artists to be sort of sticking the open dimes in the art in ways that may harm the art or the open dime. So we wanted to find a better way of doing that. And we leveraged all the firmware that we wrote for Tap Signer in a way that works for the artists, so that essentially they can sign a picture of the art and all the metadata, and it's a Bitcoin signature. It's really cool. And there's even a little, we released a little command line tool today so that they can do that. And then there's a little gallery on satschip.com/gallery where they can push it. I hope to get a few of these on Crypto Graffiti's hands soon, and get that ball rolling.
I would just say that the NFT craze was horrible to see, but the actual physical Bitcoin art is really, really cool.
It is really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, this is the difference, right, between buying a JPEG that anyone can copy, right, and buying a physical piece of art with a certificate that nobody can forge.
Exactly. Like, I
Right?
still don't think I'm at the point in my life where I would buy. Like, I don't think the physical art is going to outperform Bitcoin,
Of
but
course
it's nice
not.
to look at,
We
and
don't buy
it's
it.
a cool concept.
Bitcoiners don't buy art as a store of value. You buy it because you like the art. You buy
Yeah,
Bitcoin as a
I
store
do
of
kind
value.
of think that like the rise of Bitcoin could be very good for independent artists.
Well, I think it's
We just
great.
launched Bitcoin Park in Nashville, and we have all the walls uh, are Bitcoin artists, and they're available for purchase. Like, we're basically acting as like an art gallery. We don't actually own them.
Crypto Graffiti was very generous in working with us on the first SATSCHIP art,
Right.
without any working out how we were going to make it happen, and we're very, very grateful to him for that.
He's just a
And
great dude in general.
Yep, we think that if we can make Bitcoin products full of like cool independent art, then we're better for that. All right, what else is on my list here? The FullyNoded NFC beta I mentioned. Ooh, this is coming to COLDCARD. People have asked. We think it's awesome. It's a BIP85 based passwords. So we do the BIP85 seeds now, right? So you can use it to populate your phone app with a seed that's deterministically built, so you only have one backup. But you're going to be able to also generate passwords for things, and we're going to emulate the keyboard for input. So if you have your non deep cold storage cold card, your just play cold card, your second one, you can plug it in and press a button, and it will inject the BIP85 password into an input box on the computer. That's pretty awesome for things like SSH protected keys, or like big interesting things, like things that you don't care. Sorry, things that you care about the security, not like things that the service on the other side already has a copy, anyways, right? So yeah, so pretty excited about that one. What else? The BLOCKCLOCK Micro reservations started. This is a plebe version of the BLOCKCLOCK Mini. And it's going to be, I think, I don't know, $150, and same functionality, but just tiny little screen. Is very, very cute.
When does that
Pretty.
come out?
I don't have dates yet. I will commit to dates once we finalize the front board, because we have it, right? Like it works, it's all good, and the firmware is pretty much done. The thing is, we're still playing with the front plate design, and the world that it is just takes a little longer to do the rounds of iteration with the PCB makers. So I just don't want to promise dates and not keep them. So as soon as I have a better sense of the date, then we'll say it. We got a lot of reservations. People really like that idea, so pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's definitely people have just wanted a cheaper block clock for a while. I mean, just because the block clock's fucking awesome. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, it's a
most
Bitcoin
people probably don't
appropriate.
even realize like the block clock mini, which is like the famous one now, because like Dorsey and like the ex-Thai prime minister and shit have it in their background. Which, by the way, congratulations on that.
That was pretty cool.
The Thai he wasn't. I don't think he was a dictator. I don't know, but the Thai president who got thrown out was on an interview, and he had the block clock mini behind. But that was born out of the original block clock was ridiculously expensive, right? What was it, like $6K or something?
It was essentially a Bitcoin. It was $5,000 when Bitcoin was $5,000.
Yeah.
Well,
So
but that one
yeah.
had, it costed a lot to make. So
So is
we're
this part of the
essentially
show just a big Coinkite ad just to end it? Is that what's
100%.
going on right now?
Yeah, well, don't worry. We're gonna get to
Are you
you.
gonna send me a
We're gonna get
payment
to
for
your
this?
shills.
I just I make sure to embed the shills throughout the show.
Yeah, I noticed that. See, I am a little bit more honest. I have a Coinkite Updates section.
There you go.
Uh, so BTC sessions. Okay, now this is notable. The man spent 2 hours. It's essentially feature length tutorial of ColdCard. I mean, it's seriously awesome. That tutorial was pretty cool. I feel like he deserves a shout out for that. And we do have the Coinkite stablecoin now, which is the gift cards. I think this is it on my list. Matt, do you have anything to shill?
Nope. It's been a pleasure. This was a fun rep.
No,
I
come
miss
on.
you,
Give some
dude.
details
I
about
look
the
forward
Bitcoin
to.
Park.
Oh, I mean, I can't wait for you to come down and check out Bitcoin Park. It's gonna be fucking dope. I mean,
Yes,
it's already dope, but it's getting doper every day. We're on like day 14 of it. In proper Bitcoin fashion, we launched in the depths of a bear cycle.
classic.
But there's a lot, vibes are high. There's a lot of excitement and momentum around it. And basically, it's in Nashville. Um, it's like a mix of like a social club, co-working space, event space. We're gonna have workshops there, like dev boot camps. It's right next to the two colleges in Nashville, so we're gonna be teaching young kids um, to build on
Well, plus you guys
Bitcoin.
have Rod, right? I mean, he's
Yeah, we
an
have
absolute
Rod there,
beast.
he only talks about two things: Bitcoin and Nashville.
I know.
We have the art
It's hard to
gallery.
know which he's more obsessed about.
It's these two buildings with like a courtyard in between them, and they're both 2-story buildings, and they're just really nice facility, and it's purely focused on this community initiative that's focused on jumpstarting grassroots Bitcoin adoption
The pictures look
throughout the
really nice.
country. And like the whole model is like basically it's community supported, so it's like a membership model we're doing, where
Nice.
people pay yearly membership and then they get access to the facility and they help support everything. So we have in-state members, we have out-of-state members at a reduced rate, and then we have corporate members. It's cool shit. It's been where a lot
Nice.
of my time has been spent lately. This whole idea of, I mean, we both saw what happened in like the 2013 to 2015 era, where all the hype was around merchant adoption and shit, and it was just way too early, and a lot of it was bullshit because it was.
It was even a payment terminal.
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, it was merchants were just auto converting to fiat on the back end. Um, but I really do feel like there's a lot of momentum now for at least the beginnings of Bitcoin circular economies.
It is a completely different vibe now, just generally
And
speaking.
I think it's a very powerful thing to be focused on right now, because um, a lot of the pain points we see get mitigated to a degree if we have, like, I think time is of the essence to a degree. It makes Bitcoin more robust as a system.
Awesome, Matt. I am looking forward to going and visit that.
You're always
Uh,
welcome anytime. I'll pick you up from the airport.
all right, I will take you up on that. All right. Well, thank you so much for being my first guest. And maybe there is a second episode, but this was a blast. And if you lasted this long listening,
There's a good
thanks for
chance that this is
listening.
just the only episode ever.
Yeah, I mean,
But
this could be that special. It could
it
be
was a
a
pleasure. I enjoyed kicking it with you, and I'm 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 humbled and honored that we have so many developers working tirelessly around the Bitcoin ecosystem
I
for
mean, just for people
our
to have a
benefit.
little bit of perspective, we covered maybe like 5-10% of the projects.
Yeah, there were a lot of projects that
There's
we
a
missed.
lot of
A
stuff
lot of
going on.
very good projects that we missed, but there was no
if there is projects out there that you want to hear, and I do happen to make a second episode, do submit.
There's like literally no prep work on this.
No, I tweeted this morning saying, would people be interested if I did a little podcast, going over the Bitcoin software releases? Yes or no? Got a few replies, people. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm gonna go record this. I'm gonna do it today, or I'll never do it. And that was it. Thank you so much.
And then he texted me and was like, Matt, you want to record? Boom, done.
All right, guys. I hope everyone have a nice day.